What if the reality you perceive is merely a fragment of a grander, more intricate design? Imagine a forgotten luminary from ancient Egypt, a figure who possessed the keys to unlocking immortality, unraveling the enigma of consciousness, and comprehending the profound nature of our universe. This figure is Thoth, not merely a deity enshrined in myth, but a timeless force, a guardian of knowledge so potent that his teachings promise transcendence beyond mortal limits. His enduring influence echoes through the ancient mystery schools, forms the bedrock of Hermeticism, and subtly shapes modern spiritual philosophies. However, Thoth's profound wisdom was never intended for indiscriminate dissemination. His most sacred insights, the arcana of ascension, the true essence of reality, the immutable laws governing existence, were deliberately concealed, shrouded beneath layers of myth, misinterpretation, and outright suppression. But why? Who benefits from keeping humanity in the dark? And what transformative potential awaits us when we reclaim this lost inheritance? To truly grasp the mystery of Thoth, we must journey back to the very genesis of a god unlike any other. Within the vast tapestry of ancient deities, Thoth emerges as a uniquely compelling figure. He transcended the limitations of mere divinity, becoming a force of cosmic significance, an architect who shaped the very pillars of knowledge, time, and the very fabric of reality. In the annals of Egyptian mythology, Thoth was revered as Jehuti, the divine scribe, the celestial surveyor who measured the heavens, meticulously recorded the deeds of gods and mortals alike, and held dominion over the unseen forces that govern our existence. He was the architect of cosmic equilibrium, the progenitor of language, the ultimate master of wisdom, and the vigilant guardian of hidden knowledge. However, Thoth's influence was not confined solely to the realm of ancient Egypt. His presence reverberates across the corridors of time, reappearing in diverse epochs under various guises, consistently guiding and observing. Unlike other deities tethered to the specific myths of their respective civilizations, Thoth possessed a timeless quality. Legend holds that he was present at the very inception of creation, witnessing the genesis of the cosmos itself. The ancient Egyptians believed that his absence would plunge the world into utter chaos, that the very stability of reality depended upon his unwavering presence. He was more than just a god. He was the very mind of the universe, the cosmic librarian who maintained order in a world teetering on the precipice of duality. His wisdom was unparalleled, and his knowledge possessed the power to reshape reality itself. Thoth was frequently depicted as an ibis-headed deity, a symbolic representation of intellectual acuity and the ability to connect with the divine realm. The ibis, renowned for its sharp observational skills, embodied clarity, precision, and the relentless pursuit of hidden truths. In alternative depictions, he appeared as a baboon, another sacred creature associated with wisdom, lunar cycles, and profound esoteric understanding. While his image became instantly recognizable within Egyptian art, his influence extended far beyond the confines of hieroglyphs and statues. Thoth's knowledge was never intended for universal consumption. The ancients firmly believed that his teachings possessed such immense power that they needed to be safeguarded in a manner accessible only to those who had attained a certain level of spiritual readiness. He was said to have inscribed the deepest secrets of existence upon sacred texts, books of such immense potency that their mere reading could bestow unimaginable wisdom upon the reader, or conversely, drive the unworthy to the brink of utter madness. These writings, collectively known as the Books of Thoth, were believed to contain the very blueprint of reality, unlocking the mysteries of life, death, and the pathways to spiritual ascension. To prevent their misuse, these texts were hidden from the world, buried deep beneath the earth or locked away in impenetrable vaults. Yet, despite the relentless passage of centuries and the rise and fall of civilizations, Thoth's wisdom never completely vanished. His influence permeated the mystery schools of ancient Egypt, where only the initiated were granted access to fragmented portions of his profound knowledge. He reappeared within Greek traditions, where he was syncretized with Hermes, giving rise to the figure known as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great Hermes, who was credited as the author of the Hermetic corpus. This profound connection between Thoth and Hermes is no mere coincidence. Both were perceived as divine messengers, beings capable of traversing the boundaries between the physical and spiritual realms, revealing cosmic truths to those who were prepared to receive them. The Kybalion, a text deeply rooted in Hermetic philosophy, echoes Thoth's fundamental principles, reinforcing the idea that the universe operates in accordance with immutable hidden laws. But what if the most profound truths, those that remain unwritten, those that possess power too great for the masses, still exist, waiting to be discovered? What if the true secrets of Thoth cannot be fully revealed in public forums and can only be found by those who seek them in the right places, with the right intention? Certain knowledge is simply too profound, too potentially dangerous to be openly shared. That is why we've established the Esoteric Enlightenment Academy, where we delve into these mysteries, venturing beyond the confines of what can be openly discussed. Enroll now through the link provided in the description, and for a limited time, receive a complimentary copy of the Kybalion, a text widely believed to hold the key to unlocking Thoth's ancient wisdom. Thoth was far more than a mere scribe, historian, or wise old god. He was a timeless force. His name may have evolved across cultures and epochs, but his message remained consistent. Knowledge is power, but not all knowledge is meant for indiscriminate distribution. His teachings, intricately encoded within sacred texts and hidden traditions, point towards a deeper reality, one where consciousness transcends mere awareness, becoming an active force capable of shaping the very fabric of the world around us. What profound understanding did Thoth possess regarding the nature of the mind, the workings of the universe, and the fundamental essence of existence? And why do those who embark on the quest to uncover his wisdom invariably stumble upon far more than they initially bargained for? To address these compelling questions, we must turn our attention to the greatest enigma of all, the legendary Emerald Tablets. Some dismiss them as mere myth. Others believe they hold the key to achieving spiritual ascension itself. Regardless of one's perspective, the knowledge contained within them has the potential to shatter the very foundations of what you think you know. The Emerald Tablet's a name that evokes an aura of profound mystery, immense power, and forbidden knowledge. What if these tablets held the key to altering the very fabric of reality? A roadmap not only to unparalleled wisdom, but also to something far more profound. The secret of immortality, the true nature of consciousness, and the underlying structure of existence itself. The Emerald Tablets are not ordinary texts. They are purported to be the direct writings of Thoth, meticulously inscribed thousands of years ago, predating recorded history itself. Unlike other ancient texts, they are believed to be impervious to the ravages of time, untouched by decay, and destined to endure through the ages as if they were never meant to be lost. Legend has it that Thoth, wielding knowledge far beyond human comprehension, engraved the tablets upon an unknown substance, a material transcending metal, surpassing stone, possessing an unbreakable and eternal nature. These inscriptions were created to preserve the ultimate truths, capable of unlocking the mysteries of life, death, and spiritual ascension. However, their immense power meant they were never intended for just anyone. Thoth, the great guardian of wisdom, understood that knowledge in the wrong hands transforms enlightenment into destruction. Therefore, the tablets were concealed, locked away in secret locations, buried beneath the sands of time, awaiting discovery by those deemed worthy. But what specific revelations do these ancient inscriptions contain? Their contents speak of cosmic laws, the unseen forces that govern all things, and the power residing within the human mind to shape and control reality itself. They describe the fundamental principles of the universe, principles that resonate with Hermeticism, alchemy, and even the latest discoveries in modern quantum physics. Among these principles is the legendary phrase, "As above, so below, as within, so without," a simple statement that encapsulates the entire structure of existence. It reveals that the macrocosm and the microcosm are reflections of each other, that the universe is not separate from us, but rather mirrors the very thoughts we hold within. The tablets delve further, revealing that time itself is an illusion, that past, present, and future exist simultaneously, and that those who master the hidden laws can transcend the limitations of time itself. They speak of the soul's journey, the movement of consciousness beyond death, and the transformation from mortal being to a higher state of existence, beyond the physical plane. Some believe that the knowledge contained within the tablets forms the foundation of all mystical teachings, from the construction of the pyramids of Egypt to the alchemical traditions of the Middle Ages, and even the modern-day exploration of energy, vibration, and frequency. Could Thoth have left behind not just wisdom but a blueprint for the very evolution of humanity? Despite the immense power they hold, mainstream history largely ignores the tablets, dismissing them as myth, legend, or symbolic writings devoid of real significance. But why? Who benefits from keeping this knowledge buried? Throughout history, those in positions of power have consistently feared those who possess the ability to think independently. If truly understood, the Emerald Tablets would shatter the illusion that we are limited beings bound by the constraints of this world. They teach that we are far more than we have been led to believe. However, the mystery deepens further. Some accounts suggest that the Emerald Tablets were never truly lost and that secret societies, mystery schools, and powerful elites have guarded them for centuries, utilizing their knowledge in ways the world was never intended to know. Could the secrets of manifestation, energy control, and divine consciousness have been hidden in plain sight, disguised within fragmented philosophies, awaiting those who seek the truth to piece them together? And if so, what will happen when that truth is finally uncovered? One thing is certain: Thoth did not leave his teachings to be forgotten. He ensured that the wisdom of the tablets would be preserved not only in physical form, but also within the very fabric of reality itself. Those who seek knowledge, who question the nature of existence, and who dare to look beyond the veil of illusion, will inevitably find themselves drawn to these truths. The question remains: are you ready to see beyond the illusion? Because once you do, there is no turning back. And if the Emerald Tablets hold the keys to unlocking the mysteries of consciousness, what does that reveal about their creator? What profound understanding did Thoth possess regarding the nature of the mind, the power of thought, and the essence of awareness itself? To answer these questions, we must explore the greatest revelation of all: Thoth's mastery over consciousness and how his teachings point to a universe far more mysterious than we could ever imagine. If the Emerald Tablets reveal the hidden laws governing the universe, then Thoth himself must have possessed an understanding far greater than what is recorded in history. He was not merely a god of writing or wisdom. He was the very architect of consciousness. The ancients did not simply revere him as a scribe. They saw him as a master of reality, someone who grasped the very fabric of existence and knew how to mold it. But what did Thoth truly understand? What specific knowledge did he possess that has been fragmented, concealed, or dismissed throughout the centuries? The answer may lie within the very nature of consciousness itself. Throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and scientists have grappled with the challenge of defining consciousness. Where does it originate? Is it solely generated by the brain? Or is it something far more expansive, something independent of physical form? Modern science often attempts to reduce it to mere neurological activity, but Thoth's teaching suggests something radically different. He understood that consciousness is not confined to the mind. It is the very foundation upon which reality is constructed. According to his profound wisdom, reality is not something we passively observe, but something we actively shape. It is a construct, a malleable field of energy that responds to the vibrations of thought and intention. Thoth described the universe as being composed of various planes of existence, each governed by its own unique set of laws, yet all interconnected through the power of the mind. His teachings align remarkably well with the emerging understandings of modern physics, specifically the idea that at a fundamental level, reality behaves as a quantum field where observation influences matter, and where consciousness itself may be the hidden variable shaping the material world. If this is indeed true, then our current understanding of reality is fundamentally incomplete. We are not merely physical beings navigating a fixed universe. We are active participants, creators, and co-authors of our own existence. One of Thoth's most profound revelations was the illusory nature of time. He did not perceive time as linear, as a progression from past to future. Instead, he described it as cyclical, layered, something that could be bent and traversed. If time is not what we believe it to be, what implications does that have for memory, destiny, and the very structure of reality? The Emerald Tablets speak of the halls of Amenti, a mystical plane where time collapses, where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. This concept aligns closely with the Akashic records, a purported ethereal repository containing a record of all events that have ever occurred, are occurring, and will occur. Could Thoth have had access to this vast knowledge? Did he possess the understanding to transcend time itself, to exist outside its limitations, to witness reality from a vantage point beyond the constraints of human perception? His teachings also emphasize the importance of vibration, a principle echoed throughout spiritual traditions for millennia. Everything in existence vibrates: energy, thought, and matter. The distinction between the physical and non-physical realms lies solely in the difference in frequency. Those who grasp this principle, those who can attune their consciousness to higher vibrations, can access realms beyond the physical, beyond the limitations of ordinary senses. This is why the ancients regarded Thoth not merely as a god, but as a bridge between worlds, a being capable of navigating the hidden dimensions of existence. If consciousness holds the key to shaping reality, why is this knowledge not more widely disseminated? Why are individuals still taught that they are separate from the universe, powerless in the face of circumstance? The answer is deeply unsettling. A population that fully understands the power of its own consciousness is impossible to control. If you truly knew that your thoughts shape your experiences and that your mind transcends the perceived limits imposed upon it, would you passively accept the world as it is, or would you embark on a journey to reshape it? This is the precise knowledge that has been concealed, diluted, and guarded from the masses. It is the underlying reason why spiritual texts are rewritten, why the mystical is often labeled as myth, and why those who pursue truth are often met with ridicule. Despite these persistent attempts at suppression, the wisdom of Thoth has never fully disappeared. It has endured in symbols, secret societies, and the whispered teachings of those who have glimpsed beyond the veil. And for those who are truly ready to listen, it remains accessible, waiting to be understood. Thoth's understanding of consciousness extended beyond the realms of thought and vibration. He also unveiled something even more mysterious: the concept that death itself is an illusion. If consciousness is eternal, what happens after we depart from the physical world? Does Thoth's wisdom extend beyond the boundaries of life, beyond the limits of what we deem possible? The answer to that question has the potential to reshape everything we believe. If Thoth possessed profound knowledge of consciousness, time, and the hidden structure of reality, then the most fundamental question of all remains: did he ever truly die, or did he master the ultimate secret, the ability to transcend death and exist beyond the constraints of the physical form? For centuries, esoteric traditions have hinted at something remarkable. Thoth never ceased to exist. Instead, he continued to walk among humanity, reincarnating throughout history under diverse identities and assuming different forms, invariably returning when his profound wisdom was most needed. Within Egyptian mythology, Thoth was portrayed as an immortal being, a witness to the very dawn of creation, destined to exist beyond the confines of time itself. Unlike other deities who inherited their divinity through lineage or acts of worship, Thoth was self-created, a force that emerged beyond the boundaries of the material world. He was said to have meticulously recorded all knowledge, encompassing not only the affairs of the gods, but also humanity's past, present, and future. The mystery schools of ancient Egypt held the belief that he had perfected the ability to consciously exit his physical body, traverse between dimensions, and return in different incarnations, always carrying fragments of his past wisdom. One of the most recognized identities linked to Thoth is Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary sage of the Hermetic tradition. Upon encountering Egyptian wisdom, the Greeks recognized undeniable similarities between Thoth and their own deity, Hermes, the messenger of the gods, the guide of souls, and the master of esoteric knowledge. However, Hermes Trismegistus was not merely perceived as a god. He was a man, an enlightened figure who authored profound philosophical and mystical texts, including the Hermetic corpus, which served as the foundation for alchemy, astrology, and sacred geometry. To the Hermetics, Hermes was Thoth reborn, continuing his divine mission under a new name in a new age. Yet Hermes Trismegistus represents only one of Thoth's many incarnations. Certain traditions propose that Thoth's reincarnations extend even further, appearing throughout various civilizations as influential teachers, visionaries, and philosophers. His presence can be traced in the legends of Enoch, the biblical patriarch who is said to have walked with God and ascended to the heavens without experiencing death. Some even suggest that he influenced the teachings of Pythagoras, whose mathematical revelations mirrored the sacred geometry found within Egyptian temples. Others point towards the ascended masters of ancient mystery schools, figures who possessed knowledge that transcended their time, whose writings and teachings seem to echo Thoth's original wisdom. What if the greatest minds in history were not merely influenced by Thoth's teachings, but were, in fact, Thoth himself, returning repeatedly to guide humanity? If this is true, the implications are staggering. It suggests that certain souls, those who attain a certain level of enlightenment, can navigate through time not in the traditional sense of reincarnation, where past lives are forgotten, but with full awareness of their purpose, carrying forward the accumulated knowledge gained in previous incarnations. This would explain why certain ancient texts describe the process of ascension not as a spiritual metaphor, but as a literal transformation, one where the physical body is transcended and the soul continues its journey, unburdened by the cycle of birth and death. If Thoth has reincarnated numerous times, returning throughout history to guide humanity, where is he now? Has he reappeared in modern times, concealed behind another identity, awaiting recognition from those who are ready? Or has his wisdom become scattered, waiting to be pieced together by those who actively seek the truth? One thing remains certain: his influence has never truly disappeared. His teachings have remained embedded in esoteric traditions and secret knowledge passed down through the ages. And those who resonate with his wisdom, who feel a pull towards his mysteries, may be closer to uncovering the truth than they realize. Thoth's greatest revelation was not solely about knowledge. It was about what lies beyond this world. If his teachings are accurate, then death itself is an illusion, and the soul's journey is far grander than we have been led to believe. But what specific knowledge did Thoth possess about the afterlife, and how did he describe the process of transcendence? That is the next mystery we must unravel. If Thoth was more than a god, if he was a timeless force, a being who reincarnated across the ages, then his understanding of death must have been drastically different from anything we have been taught. The ancient Egyptians did not view death as an end, but as a transition, a gateway to another state of existence, a passage through which the soul could either ascend to greater knowledge or become trapped in the cycle of rebirth. At the heart of this understanding was Thoth, the guardian of wisdom, the guide of souls, the recorder of the departed's fate within the book of life. Was this simply mythology? Or did Thoth leave behind something far more profound, a hidden truth about what happens after we depart from this world? The Egyptian Book of the Dead describes the soul's journey after death, the trials it must endure, and the tests that determine its worthiness of transcendence. The most famous of these is the weighing of the heart, where the deceased stands before Osiris, their heart placed on a scale against the feather of Maat, the symbol of divine truth and balance. If the heart is light, the soul advances into higher realms. If it is heavy, burdened by sin, it is devoured, and the soul must return, reincarnating into the physical world for another attempt. What is rarely discussed is that Thoth was the one who meticulously recorded these judgments. He was not merely a passive observer. He inscribed the soul's fate, understanding the deeper mechanics of existence beyond the physical plane. Herein lies the deepening mystery. In the Emerald Tablets, Thoth does not portray death as an end, nor does he describe the afterlife in terms of reward and punishment. Instead, he speaks of transformation and the ability to transcend, to break free from the cycle altogether. He describes the halls of Amenti, a realm beneath the Earth's surface where souls transition between incarnations. He also speaks of beings masters of ancient ways who do not die but consciously choose when to relinquish their physical form, existing in a higher state of awareness. According to Thoth, these beings have mastered the unseen forces of the universe, ascending beyond material limitations. What does this signify? Could Thoth have been more than a god of wisdom, serving instead as a guide to a more profound understanding, a system of knowledge, enabling the soul to consciously direct its journey through life, death, and beyond? Modern physics is beginning to unravel the enigmatic nature of consciousness, with some theories proposing that awareness is not confined to the body but exists independently of the brain. Ancient spiritual traditions have long echoed this notion, describing the ability to consciously leave the body and traverse beyond the constraints of the physical. If Thoth's teachings align with this, what we call death is not an ending, but a shift, a transition from one state to another dictated by the knowledge one has acquired. It is no surprise that many secret societies, from the ancient mystery schools to contemporary esoteric orders, have fixated on Thoth's teachings. If consciousness can exist beyond the body, those who master it would no longer be bound by the rules imposed upon the physical world. Should this knowledge become universally accessible, death itself would lose its potency as a tool for control. Perhaps this is why so much of Thoth's wisdom has been concealed, locked away and obscured by time and deliberate deception. If people truly understood that they are more than their physical bodies, that they are part of something eternal, the entire edifice of fear and obedience that governs the world would collapse. There exists an even deeper mystery. Thoth himself spoke of those who do not simply traverse the afterlife but return time and time again as guides, teachers, and guardians of knowledge. Could the greatest spiritual figures throughout history, those who awakened humanity to higher truths, have been connected to Thoth's lineage, tapping into the same knowledge and the same hidden laws of consciousness and reality that he recorded long ago? If so, what does this mean for us? If Thoth was accurate, we are not bound by fate, and we are not powerless in the face of death. We are part of something far grander, something that has been deliberately concealed but never truly lost. If we can reclaim this knowledge and awaken to what has been forgotten, we may finally understand what Thoth knew all along, that life and death are merely two sides of the same illusion. If that illusion has been exploited to keep humanity in ignorance, what other truths have been erased from history? How much more of Thoth's wisdom remains buried, hidden, and distorted? The answer may be more shocking than we ever imagined. If Thoth comprehended the true nature of consciousness, time, and existence, why has his wisdom been buried beneath layers of myth and secrecy? Why are his teachings, once foundational to ancient civilizations, now dismissed as legends or disregarded entirely? The deeper we delve, the clearer it becomes that Thoth's knowledge was never intended for mass consumption. It was preserved in symbols, concealed within sacred texts, and passed down in whispers through clandestine traditions. Who decided that this wisdom should be concealed, and what transpires when it is ultimately rediscovered? Throughout history, a consistent pattern emerges. Great knowledge is invariably suppressed, shielded from public view, and confined to the hands of a select few. The ancient Egyptians safeguarded their mysteries within temples, revealing them only to the initiated. The Greeks transformed Thoth into Hermes Trismegistus, encoding his teachings within Hermetic texts accessible only to diligent seekers. During the Middle Ages, alchemists and mystics guarded his wisdom in allegories, disguising truth in symbols understandable only to those prepared to receive them. Even today, traces of Thoth's knowledge remain hidden in plain sight, interwoven into philosophy, quantum physics, and esoteric traditions. Why is this the case? If this knowledge is intended to enlighten humanity, why has it been systematically buried, diluted, or ridiculed? The answer is straightforward. Authentic wisdom poses a threat to those who seek control. If individuals understood their inherent power, recognizing that they are the creators of their own reality, and that consciousness shapes existence itself, the established structures governing the world would crumble. Religious institutions, political systems, and financial empires all depend on the belief that power resides externally, with authority resting outside the individual. Thoth's teachings dismantle this illusion, revealing that power is internal, enlightenment is earned rather than granted, and divinity is not separate from us, but resides within us. Consider the Emerald Tablets, a text that outlines not only the laws of the universe, but also the keys to transcending the physical world. If these tablets were merely ancient mythology, why do secret societies, occultists, and elite groups continue to reference them? Why have scholars, philosophers, and alchemists dedicated their lives to deciphering their messages? Could it be that the fragments we possess today are merely pieces of a much larger puzzle, deliberately obscured over time? Some accounts claim that specific passages have been intentionally removed from the tablets, denying public access. Others suggest that the true knowledge of Thoth has been maintained within elite circles, transmitted solely to those deemed worthy. Then there exists the most unsettling possibility, that the full knowledge of Thoth never disappeared, but has instead been weaponized, utilized by those in positions of power to shape the world according to their desires, while keeping the rest of humanity oblivious to its potential. If this is accurate, the greatest secret is not merely the existence of Thoth's wisdom, but its exploitation against us, transforming it into a tool for control rather than liberation. Here lies the truth that those in power seek to conceal. Thoth's knowledge cannot be erased. It has endured for millennia, resurfacing in various forms, awaiting those who are ready to perceive it. The question is this: what will you do with it? Will you dismiss it as myth, superstition, or something irrelevant to your life? Or will you delve deeper, questioning everything you have been told and seeking the wisdom that has been deliberately kept from you? Once you embark on this path, there is no turning back. The illusion begins to crumble, revealing something far more powerful than you ever imagined. Thoth's teachings have never been solely about knowledge. They are about transformation, breaking free from the illusions that bind us and reclaiming the divine power that has always resided within us. Knowledge alone is insufficient. Awakening represents merely the initial step. The true question lies in how you will utilize this knowledge and how you will apply it to transform your own life. What transpires when more and more individuals begin to recall what was once forgotten? The era of forgetting is ending and the age of awakening has commenced. Thoth's wisdom, concealed for so long, is finally being remembered. This journey does not conclude here. Having uncovered what was lost, we must now contemplate how to leverage this knowledge to achieve true awakening. More importantly, how do we liberate ourselves from the forces that have perpetuated its concealment for so long? This is the next stage, the point where genuine transformation begins. Knowledge in isolation remains insufficient. You can unveil hidden truths, decipher ancient wisdom, and glimpse beyond the illusions of this world. But unless you actively apply this knowledge, allowing it to transform your thoughts, perceptions, and actions, it will remain merely information, powerful in potential, yet ineffectual in practice. Thoth did not preserve his teachings for passive observation. He provided a blueprint for those willing to awaken and to transcend the limitations imposed upon them. The critical question is whether you are truly prepared to embrace it. Thoth's teachings were never intended to be confined to the realm of intellect. Their purpose lies in attaining a profound understanding of the nature of reality that precipitates a transformative shift in every aspect of your being. He elucidated that the mind serves as the architect of existence, the shaper of worlds, and the force that can bend reality itself. The principle of as above, so below, as within, so without extends beyond mere poetic expression. It encapsulates the fundamental mechanics by which the universe operates. The events unfolding within your internal world are mirrored in the external world that surrounds you. Your thoughts, emotions, and deeply held beliefs collectively mold the reality that you experience. This is precisely why consciousness holds the position of the most valuable and the most rigorously controlled force in existence. The prevailing system does not need to confine you physically when it possesses the capacity to do so mentally. By dictating the beliefs you accept as truth, the world you inhabit has already been pre-shaped. Here is where Thoth's wisdom transcends the boundaries of historical intrigue to become a potent tool, a key capable of unlocking conditioning and shattering the invisible chains that have been forged around your mind since birth. His knowledge reveals that you are not merely a passive observer within this reality. You are an active creator. The limitations you perceive, the obstacles you encounter, and the very essence of your existence are all manifestations of the vibrational patterns set forth by your own consciousness. By understanding this fundamental principle, you gain the potential to initiate change and rewrite the reality you experience. Embarking on the path of awakening is an arduous endeavor, demanding a process of unlearning. It necessitates the dismantling of false narratives, conditioned responses, and deeply ingrained beliefs that have shaped your perception of yourself and the world around you. It compels you to embrace uncertainty, questioning not only what you have been taught, but also the reasons behind your unquestioning acceptance. Thoth's teachings offer guidance to those who seek truth throughout this challenging process. However, there exists a formidable obstacle that prevents the majority from even taking the first step: fear. Fear serves as the most potent tool of control ever devised. It is the mechanism that perpetuates stagnation, compelling individuals to resist change even when they sense the resonant calling of truth. The fear of rejection, the fear of failure, and the fear of venturing beyond the confines of societal norms collectively hold individuals captive. Thoth's wisdom penetrates this illusion, recognizing that fear is not a force to be avoided but to be understood. It serves as a signal, a threshold, separating the known from the boundless possibilities that await. Individuals who comprehend this, refusing to allow fear to dictate their actions, are the ones who truly awaken. This is the reason Thoth's teachings were concealed, not to keep them from you, but because the world was carefully constructed to keep you from them. Accessing this knowledge necessitates a profound shift in perception, the capacity to see beyond the immediate and the surface level of what is presented. This explains why those who seek truth are often met with ridicule, why those who challenge the status quo are dismissed as delusional, and why those who speak of deeper realities encounter resistance. The moment you begin to awaken, the illusion begins to lose its grip. Knowledge alone is insufficient to break the cycle. Action is essential to dismantling control, and consistent practice transforms wisdom into tangible experience. Understanding that your consciousness shapes reality is one thing. Actively embodying that truth is another. What thoughts do you entertain? What beliefs do you reinforce? What limitations do you impose upon yourself without question? These are the true prisons that Thoth sought to help humanity escape. The fundamental question remains: how do you effectively utilize this knowledge? How do you apply these ancient truths within the context of the modern world? How do you reclaim what has been suppressed for so long? These constitute the next step and the final piece of the puzzle. Awakening represents only the beginning. The true challenge lies in how you act upon that realization. If you are prepared, the time for action has arrived. It is time to break free. Awakening is merely the genesis of the journey. Knowledge devoid of corresponding action remains nothing more than words, ideas lacking form, potential left unrealized. Thoth's wisdom was never intended for passive reception. It was designed to be applied, lived, and integrated into every facet of your existence. He did not simply impart the concept that reality is shaped by consciousness. He provided the means to harness that understanding, transcend limitations, and reclaim the authentic power that resides within. The critical question remains: will you actively embrace this wisdom, or will you regress into the comfortable illusion meticulously constructed to contain you? The initial step in applying Thoth's wisdom involves transforming your perception of reality. Through conditioning, you have been led to believe that the external world exists as a fixed entity, that what you perceive through sight, touch, and experience exists independently of your mind. This illusion perpetuates the state of entrapment, leading you to believe that you are subject to forces beyond your control. Thoth taught that reality does not exist separately from the observer. Rather, it is a fluid construct shaped by frequency, intention, and consciousness. Once you understand this, everything is transformed. The limitations you once perceived as real begin to dissipate. The notions of fate, predetermined suffering, and a life dictated by external circumstances all crumble under the weight of this revelation. The subsequent step involves mastering your thoughts. Thoth unveiled that thought is not a passive occurrence, but the very architect of existence. Each idea you entertain, each belief you reinforce, and each expectation you project upon reality creates a vibrational imprint that molds the world around you. You have been exercising this ability, though often unconsciously, guided by programming intended to keep you within defined boundaries. Every established system, education, religion, media, has conditioned you to think in ways that perpetuate limitations. The moment you reclaim your thoughts, consciously choosing what to believe, expect, and create, you transition from the role of the created to the role of the creator. The third step involves breaking free from the cycle of fear. Fear serves as the primary mechanism by which control is maintained. The fear of failure, rejection, and stepping outside the bounds of societal acceptance keeps individuals compliant within a system that does not serve their best interests. Thoth understood that fear is an illusion, a distortion of perception designed to stifle human potential. By ceasing to fear the unknown and embracing uncertainty as a gateway to expansion, you dismantle the most powerful tool of control ever devised. Individuals who traverse this path, refusing to be governed by fear, are the ones who liberate themselves from the illusions that bind the rest of humanity. Thoth's wisdom was never reserved for the select few. It was intended for all who are prepared. This readiness extends beyond mere knowledge, encompassing action, transcending theory to embody truth. You have been provided with the keys. The choice now rests with you. Will you persist in living as you have, shaped by illusions and limitations, or will you embrace the next step, begin to apply these principles and reshape reality itself? Thoth did not merely record knowledge, he illuminated the path. Those who follow this path will never perceive the world in the same manner again. There remains one final question to address. If all of this holds true, if reality can be reshaped by consciousness, what are the implications for the future? And what role will you play in shaping it? The very moment you grasp the truth, seeing beyond the illusions and realizing that reality is not fixed but fluid, responsive, and shaped by your consciousness, everything is transformed. There is no possibility of returning to the previous state. You begin to recognize patterns, constructs engineered to keep you blind, and the invisible forces that have dictated your beliefs, fears, and limitations. Then, for the first time, you comprehend that you were never truly bound by any of it. The door was never locked. You simply believed it to be. Thoth's wisdom encompasses more than knowledge. It encompasses transformation. He did not leave behind mere words for posterity. He left behind a blueprint, a key to unlocking the hidden mechanics of existence. Those who have discovered and studied the Emerald Tablets, Hermetic principles, and the profound mysteries interwoven throughout time understand that awakening is not a single event, but an ongoing process, a process that begins with awareness and then transcends it. A choice then arises. Will you embrace your inherent power, or will you neglect it? Will you wield this knowledge, or will you allow it to remain an intellectual curiosity? The world is shaped not by those who merely possess knowledge, but by those who actively apply it. Humanity has been ensnared in cycles of forgetting and remembering for centuries. Great knowledge has surfaced only to be buried once more. Powerful teachings have awakened minds only to be distorted, diluted, or lost in the passage of time. What unfolds when a critical mass of individuals awakens? What happens when the cycle is disrupted, when knowledge becomes impossible to suppress, and when the illusions crumble under the weight of truth? The future of consciousness is not predetermined. It is being actively created in every moment by those who choose to remember. The reality we inhabit mirrors the collective mind. Systems of control persist because a sufficient number of individuals believe in them. Societal limitations endure because they are reinforced by those who passively accept them. Just as the past was shaped by those who wielded knowledge, the future will be molded by those who reclaim it. Thoth understood that the mind is the true architect. Belief forms the bedrock of existence, and those who master their consciousness gain mastery over reality itself. This journey is not an endpoint. It is merely a beginning. There remain countless hidden truths waiting to be uncovered. If you have traversed this path and feel drawn towards deeper wisdom, know that you are not alone. Profound mysteries exist, too vast and potent to be shared openly. However, for those who diligently seek them, the doors will always appear. The knowledge is accessible, waiting to be discovered, but it demands action, unwavering commitment, and a willingness to transcend the perceived boundaries of what is deemed possible. The deeper truths of Thoth's wisdom, the insights that cannot be fully explored within this format, are available to those who seek them. Should you feel prepared to continue this journey, to venture beyond the surface and uncover what has been deliberately concealed, take the next step. The opportunity awaits. Knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is freedom. The choice is now yours. So what have we learned? Ultimately, the journey we've taken together leads us back to a profound and empowering truth, that the reality we perceive is just a fragment of something far grander, and that within each of us lies the potential to unlock its secrets. Thoth, whether as a historical figure or a timeless force, reminds us that knowledge is power, Consciousness is key, and the limitations we accept are often self-imposed. The message is clear. Question everything, embrace your power, and actively shape the world you want to see. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. What resonated with you the most? Do you have any questions about Thoth, the Emerald Tablets, or the power of consciousness? Leave a comment below, and let's continue this conversation together. It's only by sharing our insights and experiences that we can truly unlock these mysteries. And if you enjoyed this exploration and want to delve even deeper into these fascinating topics, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. There's so much more to discover, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep awakening.